My name's Austin Young. I'm an artist. I live in Los Angeles and I do photography and video. I do portraits. They're very pop culture, kind of emotional to look at. At the same time, they have this really glossy surface to them. When I was a kid, I always wanted to be an artist, and I just always thought to myself that I want to make images that make people just stop and have to look at it. There's just something that connects with you. Maybe it operates on subtle or levels you don't even understand. I grew up in this small town in Reno, Nevada, and I used to sit in my room and listen to records, and I would just stare at the album covers for hours, and I thought, oh, I want to make that kind of stuff when I'm older. And I loved Andy Warhol. John Waters was a huge inspiration. I just, what he did with his work was so punk rock and incredible at the time, and also was really inspired by new wave artists like Siouxsie and the Banshees and The Cure coming out of the very early 80s. There was this kind of imagery happening in the late 70s and early 80s that I'm still obsessed with, that I hope that I can bring out in my work. My parents weren't really supportive of me being an artist, so but I did go to art school for a couple years, and I hated it. I was really rebellious when I was younger. I finally was like, I don't need school. I don't need to go to school to be an artist. I'm just gonna do it. And so pretty much like everything I do in my photography and my video is self-taught. I'm a self-taught artist. My creative process is kind of an overall view of my work in general. I'm trying to create a body of portraiture and a body of video work that speaks of the genre that I'm making the work of. So I'm always looking for somebody who fits into that genre to take their portrait of, or to kind of expand what I'm doing, so that you can kind of then look back on this body of work and think and see that it kind of encapsulates a subculture.
I am still a hottie.
I'm also working on a series of short videos called The Worm. Madonna, Cher, and Britney, they turn into a giant worm and they go out and like eat stuff and attack things. In my photography work, I shoot from grannies to trannies. I do like celebrities, I do just people that I find fascinating. I do lots of drag queens, transsexuals, and then sometimes it's more about the fantasy of what somebody is. I did this one project recently where I called it Your Face Here. There was just white walls in the gallery, and I taped out spaces where images would be. Then I invited people to come, and I said, like, if you can buy whatever space you want, and then I'll do your portrait during the time the show is here. It became this incredible experience where every day I'd sort of set up this studio there with like hair and makeup and clothes, and people would come in, and there'd be like, you know, celebrity, and there'd be like just regular people wanting to be involved, and everyone would be laughing and having a good time. It was the best time. It was a great show.